guys, welcome to By the Cover with Mals and
Arie.
All right, so one thing that has been on my mind.
Tell me, what is it?
With these chapters in the conduit, because they went somewhere and the conduit was missing, right?
Well, yeah, I think it went missing during the battle at some point.
It was something that they were doing. They were somewhere else. They were somewhere else and it went missing. And then it went missing. She went back to Basquiat, which I wanted to, maybe the next video, the video you sent with the pronunciation.
Yes.
I wanted to put something in there, but the next video we'll go over it. But when they went back to Basquiat, she lost it in whatever battle. She even went back to Basquiat because it was gone. And then in my head, the way Rebecca mentioned that the conduit was gone, I was like, something is going to happen to the conduit. And then when they went back to Basquiat, Mira brought it to her. Remember, you reminded me. I was like, who brought it back to her? And you said Mira. So I don't know, because I just feel like the fact that the conduit went missing and Mira was the one to find it. And there's been a couple other times where she's brought up the conduit. Like even right now, she emphasizes it in certain.
It's definitely an emphasis on the conduit, and I'm not sure if it's only because she needs it literally to direct her wielding and be more specific with her targeting, but it does seem like there might be something that might happen with that conduit.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what it could be. Honestly, I don't know.
I agree with what you're saying, as in she really needs it, so maybe they're bringing it up a lot. But I don't remember Rebecca bringing it up a lot in the last one.
She did, because that's in the last one is when she got the conduit
and she was practicing.
So she had to practice using it. But then in this one, she talked about how she was she's in the beginning of this book of Onyx Storm. She ends up practicing every morning at one point. She's like, I'm out there for hours every morning, just practicing using, her conduit. So.
And I highlighted right here. So it says, I'm not chancing it when I can't see what I strike, especially having lost my only conduit in battle. So that's what made me start to be do you know what I'm saying? I was just like, what's happening with this conduit? And she lost it. Then Mira found it. And
Mira didn't find it.
You said she gave it to her.
Yeah, but it's because Mira is in Arisha with the guy who made it. I don't remember his name. I wish I did. But I think he just created a new one for her.
But Taryn's just look, you don't have it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so...
It's definitely emphasis. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what's happening with that.
Yeah. I mean... the way Rebecca writes, who knows? It could be some crazy situation with the conduit. I do, and just to talk about Mira.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have a theory that Mira is Venom. Mm-hmm. I have a theory, maybe not specifically Venom, but in the Dark Wielder realm. I just feel like she's snappy, and I feel like she has this I don't know, this thing about her. First, even going all the way back to when Violet finds out about Venom and tries to talk to her about it, and the way she kind of shuts it down or makes her feel crazy. I mean, she does come back and apologize, but I feel like it's because she's supposed to. And then it was kind of weird to me when they decide, and they being the squad, right? So we're talking about Rhiannon,
Riddick, Sawyer,
Quinn, all of them,
Kat.
They go down to the ward stone because they want to, change the ward stone so that the flyers are able to stay. And guess who's there? Mira.
Yes.
And she's like, what are you doing here? And Mira's just like, oh,
I knew
whatever. I knew you were going to come.
She didn't want Violet to go. And she was like, I knew you're just going to be hard-headed, so she was already there.
It's a little just too much for me, And like you said, she brings her the conduit. She's always there. She's always in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
She's just like always there. Okay, back in Iron Flame, there was a moment when they were all in Eurasia and they were getting like these warnings that like something was approaching. And nobody knew what it was. Like for some reason, the dragons couldn't even tell like who it was or what it was, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's Mira. It's weird. It's weird. So I don't know. I'm going to stick to that theory right now because now even at the end of the chapters we read, so all the way up to chapter 25, something very interesting happened at the end where I was like, like it's...
With Mira?
Yes. Yes. So basically, so in chapter 25, 24, when she's finally retrieving her dad's journals or research or whatever it is, and Mira goes, do you want me to carry it for you?
I think I remember that.
And the lady goes, everybody has their part to play. And there's a reason, yes. And there's a reason why the dad, what's his name? Arthur?
Asher.
And there's a reason why Asher Sorenkel chose
Violet.
out of all three of his kids, Violet, to, do what, to take on this task or whatever, and not you, right? And she kind of makes it very clear. Like, it's like, she knows something. And then...
Narelle, I think her name is.
Yeah, Narelle. And then she goes, while he was busy raising Violet for this particular mission, your mother was raising you. I wonder what legacy you've inherited. Basically, you most likely have a whole nother plot thing going on.
Exactly.
And yeah, I don't know. Like,
exactly.
I just, when I read that, I don't know, it just made it like official for me. I was like, but at the same time, because I had the theory, I was kind of looking for things.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Trying to like get your
trying
clues.
to make things happen here. But
yeah. I mean, as far as like that, I think to me, it's not that far-fetched that he gave Violet that mission because he was working closely with Violet because he was a scribe and she was trained to be a scribe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I definitely get 100% what you're saying.
Can we just touch on how Taryn is not feeling Xaden at all? Okay, so I felt like it was interesting that, well, I don't know if I want to say it's interesting, but Taryn is definitely like not feeling Xaden at all. Like, I mean, Sigale's completely not talking to him. So there's a couple of parts where he was just being like extreme. Like he was like, in one of the chapters, I guess, Violet was trying to kind of get his support or, just how Indarna was like, we're both different and unknown. So I'm not going to like lose all hope and faith in you curing Xaden. But like he goes, this is Taryn's turn. But do not mistake my unflinching support of you, my mate and Indarna, for any form of faith in him. He remains because Navarre's wards protect you from him. Like basically he would like kill him or let somebody know that he's Venin. If he felt like Violet was in any kind of danger.
Yeah, he'd just have to show out at that point. He just have to, like, it is what it is.
Can you imagine? And who's beefing with, you don't want to beef with Taryn.
No, literally.
Like, that's a lot.
So, yeah.
And he feels like he's beyond redemption. Like, I feel like he was going on a whole tangent. He was like, will I support the myriad of ways you plan to court death in the name of curing one who is beyond redemption? Talking about... So he has no faith that Violet's actually going to be able to cure
him with the Venin.
Yeah, as a Venin. I mean, I also, and this is a question that keeps coming up to me a lot, is like, how much does the Empyrean know about Venin? And what are they like not telling us?
I think like it's crazy because you told me how you feel like how Venin pull from the earth. that you were saying that what if it's like good? Remember you were saying to me like that? And there was a part like in the last couple chapters where they went to this isle or island. What are they saying?
It's an island, I think too.
But there's no power there. And then I forgot what happened. Something happened where Violet was like, because the ground was drained. Their power was gone, and she said something like, if the ground wasn't drained, then Xaden could be, and it kind of just cut off because I think someone had interrupted her thought. But it just reminded me of what you said, because it's just like, if the ground had the power, then Xaden probably could have used that power to do something good in that moment.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was interesting. Kind of, you said that it could be used for good.
It's like it's just a source.
Yeah.
And the magic of the ground is just a source. And maybe they just don't know or understand how to filter the source or use the source in a positive way, because it's so overwhelming. It ends up being used in a negative way, or maybe because of like how, like, you know, we're human, you know? So we end up kind of leaning towards like the other parts.
Yeah. Just going back to the last couple of chapters, like we were saying, is like the most exciting.
So let's just jump into there.
Yeah.
Because honestly, everything before that was just a build up to these chapters. Yeah. And just a quick recap. So basically Violet and her whole like chosen team, which includes like it's Violet, Xaden, Riddick,
Quinn, Imogen, Dane. Did she bring Sloan?
Imogen's there? I
think so. That she brought with her?
Mira. There, right? So yeah, they're all there, and they're going to basically, and Halden the prince is going to basically go and talk to the king of this isle, and they needed to go there because Violet knows that her dad left her something over there in the isle, so she needs to visit like some bookstore over there, and in order to get like a reason to go, she kind of has to go like, you know, with a reason behind Halden. Like, oh, Halden needs to go and ask for something, but I forgot what it was.
No. Not known to you, but I just don't remember.
Halden needs to go and talk to the king and ask for something. But they're not really interested in whatever Halden's doing. They're just trying to go and get the research of the dad in order to figure out, you know, maybe a cure or something more about the venom that he left for her, right? So that's where we're here now.
Yes.
And there's no power. So the dragons have no power. They're all disconnected from their riders. They can't speak to their riders like in their mind. But did you catch it? Tell me you caught it with Violet.
What? What is she doing?
You didn't catch the second signet?
Is this something about mind reading?
Yes.
I know.
She's a fucking mind reader. Sorry.
Is she?
She's an intrinsic. She has to be. So, and I think she knows. She's just like,
are you talking? No, because they both did it.
Taryn knows.
I don't know if we spoke about it, but I know that okay, so do you remember when there was a couple scenes where her and Xaden were having sex, and then she was able to hear his thoughts?
In this one?
I can't remember.
Oh, yeah. So
she heard his
in Iron
thoughts.
Flame, because since Iron Flame, I've been thinking that when they were on the cliff, I felt like she projects her thoughts into his mind. I feel like he doesn't realize, he thinks that his intrinsic little thing is going off and he's doing something with her, but I think she's projecting her mind, her thoughts into his mind so he can hear her.
I get what you're saying. I didn't get that, but I get exactly what you're saying, because it's kind of, because there's a couple of scenes where they were, at least like 2 scenes where they were having sex, and she was able to hear his thoughts, and that was like getting her riled up even more. And then it wasn't until like afterwards she was just like,
I'm not gonna lie, I skip over a lot of the sex scenes, so
yeah,
I would
it's
have never
ridiculous.
noticed.
I believe you, because their relationship is insane. But
even this last one in the last chapter, I was like,
yes. I mean, I read it because I like that, especially right now, he's trying to control himself because of the venom part. Yeah. So, but I 100% feel you.
Oh my God.
I just honestly, because I feel like the characters are children and I don't really care about their relationship, I'd be like, whatever.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so When they got to the island, everybody else was cut off from their dragon, but she could still talk to Taryn. And she doesn't like let anybody know that, of course, because she's, I guess, now understanding and realizing how much of an inkling she has about it. Like she's just like, maybe I have this power. But I remember in Iron Flame when they're on the cliff, and he's trying, that's when she's trying to figure out what his second signet is. And she says it in her brain and he goes, exactly. And she's like, wait, I didn't say that out loud, but I think that was her signet showing itself in that moment.
Well, then that happens a lot. Now that you're saying that, I didn't
when you're reading it, it's not in quotations. That's when it's being used. That's when I realized, because if they answer something that's not in quotation marks while you're reading it, that's when it is. Because that I saw it.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Quotation marks.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's her own thought.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
You know, when she's thinking, but then he answers to that thought, and you're like, wait. And so that's where I felt like, that's why I feel like she pushes hers out, not knowing, like it's just happening.
That's interesting, though. That's right? A very good one.
So, so I feel like her second signet is definitely manifested, and she is now starting to realize now, but it's been there and it's been manifested, and she just didn't know. Yeah.
Going back to her father, Asher, I think it's so kind of like what you're saying, how he is leaving these books and these clues and stuff to Violet specifically.
Yeah.
He's like he was so confident and trusting in her, even down to the point where the mechanism of the ink and the books where there was that book and if they didn't get the right answer, the ink was just going to ruin it. Like that's a major gamble.
That's a big gamble.
Yeah. But
she's like, he's basic. First of all, daddy's girl, love it. And then two, he's basically like, if you can't figure this out, you don't deserve to have this knowledge because you probably won't even do the right thing with it.
Right. And that's what I was thinking too. Like, he's just like, if you get it wrong, then it's just not meant to be.
It's not meant to be.
It's not.
But even when the lady in the bookstore, Narelle, you said?
I think her name was Narelle.
She is like saying things. First of all, like she's besties or like she has something going on with him. But
with Asher?
Yeah. Right? I was like, okay, you know a little too much. Like y'all sound like that was like pillow talk. But yeah, I think that he definitely set up these like tests, like I said, with her and puzzles for her, because I think that it's going to be such a game changer. I think that once she figures out what the real thing is with the venom, it's going to switch the whole book. We do have like 2 more books to go, and it has to be something crazy with venom.
Yeah.
That we don't understand or know. And we also found out that the Dark Wielders have signets now.
Yes. They have signets.
That was the more interesting part in the earlier chapters too.
Yeah. You know what I really found was cool too was like even the description of this isle, like how it was just so beautiful. Yeah.
Sound like Miami. Or like the islands, the Caribbean islands.
It was definitely giving me tropical, and how she was just, and the way she was so amazed by it just really put a whole different, like, I don't want to say a whole different, but it really just emphasized how like dry their world really is. Because she was just acting like it was like,
for me, it was like how cold.
Yeah.
I'm like, they must really be high up in the mountains. Like,
it's almost like they don't have civilization.
Cold, tribal almost.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like very like almost like Viking-ish, but then on dragons instead of boats. Yeah, definitely. No, I love how she described it, like the heat, the
water
everything.
being
and
so
I honestly
clear.
love Xaden in this element as well. Like on the islands, he's actually a lot more entertaining than ever.
And that's what I was saying. There's even moments where like they're even looking at him like, is this the same Xaden?
Yeah, he was like asking about Dane. He's like, yeah, Dane. So.
Yeah. But it's like what he said it, like he was like, because he has no power, it feels different. And I feel like his feeling of the power compared to everyone else, because Violet did say, like, she's like, I feel damn near naked because she doesn't have the power. But I feel like because he has venom in him, it's a whole different sensation compared to what Violet probably feels. Mm-hmm. So he probably felt like a whole different sense of relief, like, because he had both whatever powers that they didn't have, because the island was drained of the power and the energy. Yeah. And I think because those were not there, it allowed him mentally to just be a lot more freer. Until it kicked back in, because it kicked back in where he was just like, someone touched Violet, and he was just like,
"Oh yeah."
But Violet,
no, they actually mentioned they were questioning her. Remember she had to answer the questions, and then it started to go into her love life.
Oh yes.
And he was just like pissed about it, pretty much.
Yes. But yeah, she even said, like, she was like, I've never seen him happy, and to me, that is another sign as to why their relationship is nuts. That's like, when she said that, I was like, oh, that's another sign. That's literally another sign, because look, I highlighted it. She put Xaden Rierson is a lot of things, but happy isn't usually one of them. Literally. And I'm just like, how are you in a relationship with someone and you're not happy? It's not.
I think that also, and this is what I was going to say when you said the part about the power, like the weight lifted off of him. I think that it's also a weight lifted off of him in the sense of, he's not, okay, Fourth Wing, he was like looking out for all of the marked ones, right? It's like a big weight on his shoulder. Iron Flame, he's in Erasure now. They're trying to put up the wards. He's trying to protect hundreds of people in his town. He's the king, pretty much. That's a big weight on his shoulder. Now he is in Onyx Storm, and then he's a Venom. He has this big secret. He has all this power that he has to exercise so much control over. So it's like, it's constantly a stress weight kind of guy, you know, like a guy that just like, oof, I wouldn't want to be you type of person. Mm-hmm. And then I think being in the Isles, it's like a vacation. It's like being in the tropical islands for real. Like being in Bali.
Like,
something like that. You know what I mean?
He had a sense of like,
he's able to just like
freedom. Yeah, feeling good. Because it's a whole different like space and different vibe.